The Chiefs just traded for DeAndre Hopkins.
What was that?
Bruh, what are we doing? All it cost was a 5th-round pick, too. 5th-round pick that could become a 4th-round pick, assuming that's going to depend on Hopkins snaps / Hopkins production, maybe how far the Chiefs go in the playoffs, etc., etc. I don't know exactly what the stipulations are right now, but it's a 5th, could become a 4th down the line. Man, that's all it took. We could have done that. We could have definitely done that. But that was presumably what the market was going to be for Hopkins. That's why I thought he was realistically one of the best options for the Steelers right now. With that potential wide receiver trade list continuing to dwindle by the day, no Amari Cooper available, no Devontae Adams available, no Brandon Ayuk, and now no DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, there's only a handful of guys I think the Steelers could realistically trade for where we're feeling good. We're feeling a little bit excited. Some more than others. But DeAndre Hopkins, yeah, I think it made so much sense. And obviously it makes sense for the Chiefs. It makes sense for a lot of wide receiver needy teams. But with him being on an expiring contract, him being able to still play, but being on the Titans, a sucky team that is obviously going to be looking towards the future and trying to collect some assets, and him not costing that much, given that he's on an expiring contract and it's an affordable contract, and that he's up there in age a little bit. Like there was all these reasons why DeAndre Hopkins to the Steelers makes a ton of sense, and you just think that maybe he could recapture some of that old glory, getting with a legit organization and a legit quarterback, because even with Will Levis last year, dude was still getting 1,000 yards. Even with going way back when he was in his prime, the Texans and that mess of a franchise, and how he had to play with, was it Osweiler at some points? Like a TJ Yates, he was out there. A bunch of different quarterbacks that weren't good, and he was still putting up like top 3, top 4 numbers in the league. Like we were legitimately considering him one of the top 2 or 3 receivers between, it was AB, Hopkins, and I think Devontae Adams at the time. Like those were the big 3. Then he goes to the Cardinals, has some good years there, and he's over 30, but signs with the Titans, gets the 1,000 yards with the Titans offense last year and having Will Levis and injured Tannehill out there. This year, obviously, isn't off to the greatest of starts, but he's a little banged up, but I think he can still play. I definitely think he can still play, and that's the thing. If you get him in the right situation, now he's in probably the best of situations for a receiver, being with Mahomes and Andy Reid and the Chiefs. And the fact, too, that he's not going to be fighting for targets. They're pretty banged up on the receiver front. DeAndre Hopkins is going to be their number 1. Juju's hurt. Marquise Brown, he's going to be out till the playoffs. Rashee Rice, he's out for the season. Xavier Worthy, he's still trying to figure things out in his rookie season. So DeAndre Hopkins automatically becomes the Chiefs' number 1. It's not like he's getting traded to the Chiefs and he's their, wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 4. Almost like AB whenever he went to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. This is probably the best situation DeAndre Hopkins could have asked for. So it's probably going to work out for him. Unfortunately, I'm not happy about this on multiple fronts. I just mentioned why, from a Steelers standpoint, we could have traded for Hopkins. So Hopkins ain't available anymore for us to get and add to our team. It makes the wide receiver trade list dwindle more. I'm not happy about that, but also the fact that the Chiefs just got better by adding DeAndre Hopkins. We don't want that. Chiefs, they're the team everyone in the league is chasing, and specifically teams in the AFC. We know we're going to have to get through the Chiefs, most likely if we want to go to a Super Bowl. So they just improved their squad, and it didn't take much for them to do that. Not happy. Definitely not happy. So what do the Steelers do now? The good news is there are still some receivers out there, and one big-time name just got added to the list, the legitimate list. Remember I talked about potentially trading for Kupp last week, but I was like, you know what? It might not be that realistic unless the Rams continue to lose. So we have to wait and see on that. But yesterday, Diana Rossini reported that not only are teams talking to the Rams about a Cooper Kupp trade, it's the Rams that are initiating these talks. The Rams have called out to several teams and tried to gauge interest on a Cooper Kupp trade. So they're the ones that are shopping him. So he's legitimately available. So if DeAndre Hopkins not available, he gets replaced with a Cooper Kupp as being available. I'll take that. It's going to cost more to get a Cooper Kupp, though. It says they want a second-round pick, so there's that. But I think the Rams are willing to take on some of Kupp's contract if a team is going to give up that high of a draft pick, which is good. So that's a little bit of the trade-off there. We got to trade for a Cooper Kupp, man. I mean, that's my take on the situation now. The Chiefs just added to DeAndre Hopkins. We're going to need to compete with the Chiefs and some of these other really good teams in the AFC. Let's do it. The receiver position for the Steelers has been a need that we've been talking about ever since the offseason and even through the first 6-7 weeks of this season. And Cooper Kupp, I can't think of a better fit right now. I don't think the Jets are legitimately trading a Garrett Wilson. I don't think the Niners are going to be trading for Deebo Samuel or trading away Deebo Samuel. Those names have been brought up with some of these trade talks. I just don't think those are legitimately happening. Mike Williams is out there, and there are reports from a Jeremy Fowler, ESPN, so this is legit, that the Steelers are kind of pushing or are in some legitimate talks to get Mike Williams here. Cool. He's an upgrade over what we got, but he's no Cooper Kupp. You still got an Adam Thielen out there. Christian Kirk. Upgrade over what we got, but still not Cooper Kupp. You imagine if we had Cooper Kupp to what we were just looking at last week on offense with Russ and Pickens, Pat Freiermuth, the running game going with Najee Harris, Jalen Warren. We're going to add Cordell Patterson back. We add Cooper Kupp to that. Come on, bro. Former Super Bowl MVP, Triple Crown winner. He's not far removed from that. That was only 3 years ago. I guess 2.5 years ago. He's not far removed from that. His only problem is he gets banged up a little too often. When he's on the field, he's still got that prime Cooper Kupp in him. First game of this season, Stafford threw him the ball 15 times. He had 11 or 12 receptions, 100-plus yards, and a touchdown. That's the type of dude that you want across from Pickens. I think he'd be the perfect complement. You could move him all over the field. TG said he would have some concerns with Cooper Kupp's fit in the system because Cooper Kupp, he'll run some more option routes, and I don't know if that necessarily fits with Smith's system, but option routes or not, just find me a better receiver out there that would be a better fit. Mike Williams, Adam Thielen, Christian Kirk, they don't hold a candle to Cooper Kupp. I think Arthur Smith, given his reputation and given his experience and just what we saw not yesterday, but on Sunday Night Football and how he made things work with Russell Wilson. He made things work with Justin Fields and made things work with Russell Wilson. I think adding Cooper Kupp, he'll figure out some way to expand on Kupp's talents and highlight those. Made it work in Tennessee when he was the offensive coordinator with Ryan Tannehill after the Dolphins threw him out there and was like, yeah, it's not going to work anymore here in Miami. Tannehill was the backup in Tennessee. Had 2 really good seasons. Went to the AFC Championship. Now, Derrick Henry was a big part of that, but all I'm saying is, he knows how to make his scheme work for the personnel that's there. That was the personnel that was there in Tennessee. Tannehill, Derrick Henry, good offensive line. Number 1 receiver, A.J. Brown. He'd be stupid to not highlight that. And same here in Pittsburgh. So far, with the Fields, and then we see Russell Wilson for 1 game. So I'm not too worried about adding Cooper Kupp and having it be a fit issue or a scheme issue or not being a match. No, you just add Cooper Kupp and then you figure out the rest later. So hopefully we do it. I mean, adding a Mike Williams, a Thielen, or a Kirk wouldn't be a bad thing either. It's obviously going to be cheaper to trade for them than a Cooper Kupp. But, man, you see the Chiefs upgrading their receiver room. You know they're always going to be serious contenders. I mean, they're the team we're chasing. They're the standard right now in the league. They're the team we're going to have to beat. They added DeAndre Hopkins. Baltimore and the Ravens. Lamar Jackson is looking the best he ever has in his career thus far. Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, you know they're not going away. Joe Burrow, he's getting hot. This might be Joe Burrow's best statistical season. It's just the Bengals defense has been pretty bad. But, I mean, they're going to heat up as the season goes on. Like, listen, man, wide receiver, that's been the thing we're talking about. That's been, like, the thing that we're missing. Like, that's something that we could really add to put our team over the top. What's holding us back? I don't think anything right now. Let's go get a Cooper Kupp, man. Let's go get a Cooper Kupp. But let me know your thoughts. Like, I feel like after what we saw on Sunday Night Football, we got a team. We got a quarterback. Like, we are in that, like, legit contention status. Why not solidify that even more and give ourselves an even better chance going up against some of those AFC teams I just mentioned? Why not? Tomlin's been talking about Super Bowls. That's why he made the switch to Russell Wilson. He wants to see what we have at the quarterback position. Who's the best guy to give us a chance to win a Super Bowl? So that's on our mind, right? That's always on our mind. The standard is the standard. Rooney, the owner, he talks about Super Bowls. Omar Khan, he talks about getting this team best prepared or making the best roster possible to win a Super Bowl. Adding a Cooper Kupp does that. We can afford it. We can make it happen. Why not? But let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. What receiver do you want to trade for? I think Cooper Kupp's obviously the best one available. I think he would be the best fit. What are your thoughts on the Chiefs adding a DeAndre Hopkins? But yeah, that's it for today's show. I will be on Bleach Report later, though. I'll be on Bleach Report, I think, at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. We'll talk more trade stuff and preview the Steelers-Giants game. So stay tuned for that. Stay chilling. Here we go, Steelers. Peace.